often would you link romance to the bicycle? The bicycle opened up a whole new way to court that young lady of your dreams. Mill life could be oppressing, so you'd do anything to find a spot along the river or take in a ball game with your sweetheart. The bicycle became an ideal and very radical form of a new type of transportation. And the first American-made bicycle was built right here in the Blackstone Valley. An English-trained American, William Pierce, used to shop on Cypress Street in Worcester during the winter of 1878 to construct the first bicycle. He proudly showed his 52-inch wheel bicycle to some of his engineering friends, who promptly closed their shop and repaired to the boulevard on Pleasant Street, the only road suitable in the city for an adventure on a bicycle. Unfortunately for Worcester and Pierce, the Pope Manufacturing Company of Boston claimed patent infringement. With the likelihood of expensive litigation hanging over their heads, the trio decided not to pursue their dream of building a bicycle in Worcester. Hi, this is Ranger Chuck Arning with the National Park Service here in the Blackstone River Valley National Heritage Corridor. And it wasn't only patent infringements that slowed down the development of the bicycle in Worcester. It was also the lack of a good place to ride your bike. You see, in those days, the streets were made out of packed earth, which meant during the spring, summer, and fall months, it really got dusty and blew all around the city. So the city fathers, in their infinite wisdom, decided to send out these sprinkling carts to lay a level of water down on the streets to keep the dust down. Well, the trick was just how much water to lay down. If you laid down too little, well, you'd have dust all over the place. And remember, this was Victorian America with the big skirts and everything, and, well, what a mess. If you laid down too much water, then you created mud. And then they had ruts, and it was just real messy. Now, horses and wagons could handle that pretty well, but bicyclists turned the streets into an unridable quagmire. And so they would complain to the mayor vociferously to no avail. Matter of fact, they even threatened these bike clubs to withhold votes on Election Day. So I guess trying to find a good place to ride your bicycle has always been a challenge. Well, not anymore. Because today we're going to see how government works, building a bikeway here in the Blackstone River Valley. So join me and grab a hold of your helmet, your bicycle, and let's go get some exercise. As I pedal along the bikeway, the first thing I notice is the freedom. The freedom from distractions. The freedom to enjoy my surroundings. No auto traffic to worry about here. Along the Lincoln, Rhode Island section of the Blackstone Valley Bikeway, the birds, the gurgling river, the wonderful fall colors, and the friendly people. These are the things that get my attention. This is good. This is fun. How you doing? Oh, we're doing great. What do you think of the bikeway?
Oh, wow, beautiful.
Great.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what we were just talking about. I said, I can't wait till they get the other section going. They did a beautiful job here. I'm from Massachusetts myself, but I used to go down when it goes into Bristol. But there's so many of those streets that you have to pass, you know, stop and cross, and then you go a little further and the same thing happens again. And here, my son happened to hear it on the radio about this and he told me I come down to find it. It's beautiful.
No matter when you walk here.
Yeah. I'm here
And you
every
meet nice
day.
people,
If it's not
too.
raining, I'm here.
Meet nice people.
Yeah.
Oh, you meet nice people, even from
Yeah.
Massachusetts?
Even from Massachusetts.
Well, that's...
And we miss him when we don't see him. We'll be saying, no, we don't see him with his bicycle anymore, but here he is.
Listen, have a good walk.
Yes.
Have a good ride.
Have a nice day.
We'll see you later.
Were you going to have bicycles?
Oh, no, we won't.
I just was wondering, how do you like the bikeway?
Oh, I love it. I love it if you keep it right time.
It's terrific. It really is
Beautiful. I couldn't believe it. Oh, what a beautiful job this is. Somebody said it's going to go all the way to Worcester
Yes,
eventually?
yes.
This all started with a bike. I bought a bike at the yard sale for $10. It's a 1953 Raleigh. And I called my kid sister, and she called the brother, and this is his wife. And we got a cousin coming tomorrow. So
Oh, that's great. That's
we'll
great.
have to build our own bike path.
That's right.
But take it easy.
Hey, thank you very much, Paul.
Did a nice job.
And the amount of people who use the Bikeway is really amazing. Everyone is out getting their exercise and enjoying the scenery. And they're having a good time, too. We met one gentleman who's willing to travel to the Bikeway from Massachusetts. I wonder who else might be attracted to this type of recreation. Let's meet up with Bob Billington, the Blackstone Valley Tourism Director here in Rhode Island.
Hey, Bob, good to see you.
Chuck.
Appreciate you coming by
How are
today.
you? How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Now, Bob, we're right here in front of the Kelly House, the historic site here in the Blackstone Valley.
Yes.
And talking to you who runs tourism here in the Blackstone Valley, what does the Bikeway mean for tourism here?
Oh, golly. It means so many things. I mean, it's opened up a wonderful piece of green space. We've retrieved the river. This where you're standing right now was actually a legitimate dump, believe it or not. And it was such a shame because it didn't allow people to come down here and enjoy it as we are today. So we've reclaimed some landscape. We've created this wonderful recreational amenity. So now the local people have a great place to walk and to skateboard and rollerblade and especially bicycle. And it becomes a visitor attraction. It gives us something to promote. And bike paths all over America are important. In here, of course, being part of the East Coast Greenway, we've got a segment in place. And now we can bring people to the Blackstone and give them something to enjoy. It allows us to show off what we think is one of the most important historic sites in the Blackstone Valley, and that's the Blackstone Canal. It's a great thing because you don't have to really sell a bike path. You know, if you talk about the nature and the bike path, it immediately creates an image in people's minds. And when they get out here, it's just so beautiful and so different. And when this combines with the East Coast Bikeway, or the East Bay Bike Path, rather, it really presents something great for people to enjoy here in Rhode Island. And we'd like to talk about the thought that you're going to be able to bike the entire length of Rhode Island and eventually bike to Worcester. That really gives us something to sell here in this state.
Now, Rhode Island has taken the lead in bikeway construction here in New England, thanks to a committed DEM, Department of Environmental Management. Well, I better pick up my pace here because I'm supposed to meet Rhode Island's new director of DEM, Jan Reitzman, to see how the project is progressing.
What has the Bikeway meant to Rhode Island?
I think it's fair to say that we have a love affair going on here with the public discovering the bikeways. We see an amazing number of people coming out to use this facility, and not just this one in the Blackstone Valley, but also across the state. I just heard that we are seeing 800 to 1,000 people a day using this segment right now. There's an amazing interest in this, people coming out to enjoy the natural environment, learn about the history, and get some exercise at the same time.
How is the project progressing in the rest of the state?
It's progressing very well. We're looking at extending this segment within the next couple of years. It's 3.5 miles right now. We hope to have 12 miles completed by the end of 2001. We have approximately 25 miles statewide bike paths, and by the end of 2001, Governor Almond is committed to adding at least another 20 miles to that. And so several segments are in design, several are slated to begin construction next spring, and we have an ambitious agenda ahead of us, but we're confident we can do it. Our plan to make sure we make the connections between the Rhode Island piece and the Massachusetts piece, but also within Rhode Island, connecting the East Bay Bike Path with the Woonasquatucket and the Blackstone Bike Path. So the connection is what really makes a huge difference, so that people from different parts of the state can come out and explore other parts of the state. And this is a good spot to explore it right here, because we have the natural beauty of the river, we have the historic situations with the mill, and there's a lot going on in terms of purchasing some of these properties and restoring them. We have the Kelly House, which will be restored into a museum where people can learn about the history of this value, both the natural history and the industrial history. So there's a lot of different aspects to this particular facility that a lot of people are enjoying.
Well, that sounds great. Listen, you want to ride up here with me?
Sure.
We're going to see what the Bikeway looks like here in Lincoln, Rhode Island. But we're going to head up to the rest of the state of Rhode Island and Massachusetts to see just how everything is progressing. Because remember, this is going from Providence to Worcester. and it's going to be a great thing. But let's go. Let's check it out.
You know, you see more cool stuff from a bicycle. Old railroad beds, scenic parks, the historic Blackstone Canal, and a rural countryside. I bet our good friend John Pelczarski of MA-DEM will give us an idea about some of the benefits of a bikeway for his state park.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Hi, Chuck.
Good
nice
to see
bike.
you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, getting my exercise today. Listen, I'm looking for this bikeway here in Massachusetts. I know it's planned out, and I know it's going through your park. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Sure, the bikeway is going to pass right through here on the side of Goat Hill. It's going to pass through several historic sites and natural areas along the shore of Rice City Pond, and through Plumbers Landing, the Goat Hill Lock, and pass by Riverbend Farm and Stanley Woolen Mill. So people will be able to have an opportunity to not only get some fresh air and exercise, but they'll have an opportunity to view some historic sites as well as some natural areas like Rice City Pond, which is an area that's vast with wildlife habitat and geese and ducks, and they'll be able to watch blue heron and osprey fish in Rice City Pond. So it'll be another opportunity for people to enjoy the great outdoors and the state park.
Well, that sounds great. It sounds like it's really going to enhance the visitor's experience here, isn't it?
Oh, it will. Plus, you'll have a safe place to ride your bike. It'll be a 10-foot wide paved bikeway right along Goat Hill with 2-foot shoulders, and it'll be handicap accessible also, which the trail isn't right now. So that'll be another nice addition to the state park.
Well, that sounds great. Well, listen, I'm going exploring because I got more people to talk to about this bikeway here in Massachusetts.
Okay, well,
listen, take care. We'll see you later.
Good day for it.
We know the bikeway is good exercise, but is it good for everyone? Let's talk with our Chamber of Commerce friends, Marty and Christine, and find out.
Hey, gang, how you doing?
Hi, Chuck. How are you?
Good. Now, listen, I'm on this discovery tour. I'm trying to learn as much as I can about this bikeway that's going up through Massachusetts. So, Marty is our economic development person. What does the bikeway mean to the area here?
Well, you know, it means a lot, and it means a lot because the number one question facing the valley is no longer what is going on with the new interchange on 146, but when's a bike path coming? Because people understand that, like the interchange, it's an economic development project. It allows us to market the valley in a different way. It gives us new opportunities for our businesses to expand what they're doing. It increases our employment opportunities, and not only in our local stores, but eventually the people that are insuring our local stores. You know, it's a great opportunity, and it adds to our quality of life. So when I go out to market the valley, people say to me, "What do you have?" Someone's looking at, if it's a company looking at us, what are they saying? You know, what are the characteristics of the valley? I said, well, we got a bike path. And so they can say, wow, that's a great thing to bring to my employees.
Now, Christine, we're standing here by the historic Plumbers Landing, where there was a lock here and also great canal traffic. So from a tourism perspective, how does the bikeway help your job?
Oh, it makes my job fun. And there's so much history. There's so much history here, and the bike path is going to be a great way to express that to tourists. Hopefully we can get some bike tours in, and people will be able to explore history on their bike. It's a great connector from town to town. It's going to create a real sense of community, as well as connecting us to major areas like Providence, Boston, Worcester, and Hartford.
Sounds good. Well, listen, I'm going to head out. I got more work to do. Got to explore more aspects of this here bikeway here in Massachusetts. So we'll see you folks later, right?
Take care, Chuck. Don't work too hard.
There's another aspect of bikeway that becomes very clear to me as I pedal along. See, I encounter portions of our history that you normally never get a chance to view. Historic sites, beautiful scenic vistas, great architecture, things we whiz by in our cars and miss. But here on my bike, I can take the time to drink in the beauty and the history.
Kind of nice to meet here. I'm just kind of walking along one of the areas of the preferred route that the bikeway hopefully will be taking over the next couple of years. And nice of you to meet out here and ready to go. It shows the intent of trying to stay here as close to the river as we can as we go along, and I think it's going to be a great project. I hope that we can go forward with it.
And what I'm doing today is I'm kind of exploring this part of the Massachusetts bikeway to get as much information as I can
about how the plans are going, what various people think about it. And I figured coming to see you, Steve, as the town planner for the town of Millbury, would be a good place to start.
As part of the 146 project, getting a 4-mile section of it completed from Brosnan and Square down to Millbury to 122A, and now the challenge is to pick it up from there and then hopefully hook up with the section that's already been completed in Rhode Island. When we look at the big planning world, that there's certainly a number of things that leap out in terms of benefit. Certainly, since the Blackstone Valley is very much interested in promoting the area as a tourism base for tourism, that this certainly is a drawing card for that. There's no question that can help. I think that certainly also in terms of creating another means of commuting throughout the valley, that it environmentally is helpful in terms of getting more cars off the highways. And thirdly, I think that it also provides obviously great recreational amenities for all of the communities in which the bike path will go through. Probably the issue, though, that is closest to my heart as a town planner or community planner is the fact that by providing access to the river, I think that we can engage people in a dialogue in terms of its use. And I think that also by getting people onto the river, by extension, we really kind of have a better means of really kind of developing and rediscovering the history of our communities and also the region. And I think that really represents a great and a really kind of an exciting opportunity for all of the communities involved in this project. I'm very encouraged by the fact that the Corridor Commission has kept this up in the forefront as one of its priorities, and hopefully we can get all of the communities to engage in more meaningful dialogue about getting the funding necessary to really kind of move this project forward.
Deb, how you doing?
Hi,
guys, good to see you. Glad you were able to join us here today.
Welcome.
I've been traveling all over the Blackstone Valley from Providence to Worcester, trying to find as much information as I can about the Bikeway. So I figured, Deb, coming to see you, Vernon Hill and Green Island would be a great place to talk about community involvement and what the Bikeway means to you.
It's great to see you driving in our neighborhood. The Bikeway has been a very important feature for us in the community to determine the historical significance and to let people explore what's happened in this community and to get a feel for how wonderful this community is, and particularly Crompton Park here.
Yeah, Crompton Park is a pretty special place, isn't it?
It is, it is. It's a gem for the community and for the city at large. We host a whole range of sports events throughout the season, and it borders right on the bike trail.
That's right. The Bikeway is going to be coming right along here, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We have the bike trail and we have the canal, so we have a lot to offer in this community.
Now, from the businesses of the area here, what does the Bikeway mean to them?
I think it highlights the importance of what their business is. It gives some significance to the background of the community, and it brings people into the neighborhood to enjoy what we have to offer.
So from your standpoint, the Bikeway is really an economic engine, isn't it?
It's wonderful. We have the redevelopment of Union Station as well as the Route 146 project, so we're right in between. So we hope to have a lot of people joining us and exploring our community and hopefully enjoying it as much as we do.
Well, that sounds great, and I can see the City of Worcester Police Department is ready with their bicycles to get out here and...
They're spectacular.
Well, that sounds good. Well, listen, I got more places to go and investigate. Matter of fact, we're actually going to be in Boston, too, talking to Matt Armorello. So
you have quite a ride ahead of you.
I do, so I better get going. Good seeing you. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Chuck.
Wouldn't it be great to commute to work on your bicycle? But city streets can be a little dicey. We're in Boston, just by the Common, on our way to meet another strong supporter of the Bikeway, Commissioner Matt Armorello of Mass Highways. Geez, I hope my bicycle fits on the elevator. From your perspective here, what are some of the benefits of a Bikeway for the communities of Blackstone Valley?
Chuck, there is, I don't think, a greater enhancement that we can do in the Highway Department than to make accommodations for bicyclists on our state roads, but also to designate certain bike paths. We're doing that in the Blackstone Valley. We've done it on a number of locations around the Commonwealth. As a matter of fact, over the last several years, we've spent close to $22 million just on bikeway enhancements and bikeway development. It's a great project. It improves the quality of life. It also provides an alternative for folks in commuting. There are all of us that express the frustration of sitting in traffic, and if we can find alternative modes of getting folks out of their cars, whether it's using commuter rail or using a bike, we're encouraging that at the Highway Department. We're going to continue to work on expanding bikeways around the Commonwealth, as well as some special projects that are close to me and close to where I grew up, as you mentioned. The Blackstone Valley and the Blackstone Bikeway, I think, are critical components to improving the quality of life in our region and really helping tie us together, not only as a cultural resource, but also as a recreational resource in the valley.
That's a good point, because on this little mock-up we have here, we have a number of our cultural, the Millville Lock, which State DEM has a parking area here, and we have some suggested routes down here that we've kind of mapped out to help the Stanley Willen Mill, River Bend.
Well, a bikeway is a great way of tying in the valley together. We've got the 146 project in the northern end of the valley, which has a bike element to it. We are working with the City of Worcester and local environmental groups and bike users to have that built into the 146 project, and we should be opening those segments of a northern end on this particular bike trail sometime in the year 2000, not that far away.
Well, that's great.
I've also directed our designers here at Mass Highway to be working on the southern tier. So we'll be working on a bike link from the Rhode Island line, and as you know, and I'm sure the folks in the valley know, that Rhode Island has been very aggressive in building its bikeway in the valley. So we're going to be working on the Rhode Island line coming north up through Blackstone and Millville and into Uxbridge to get that segment of this particular bikeway underway. And I'm hoping to have a contract ready to go out to bid sometime in the summer of 2000 for the actual construction of this particular leg of the trail. I just think it's a great project, a home run for the region, and it's good to do something that you know future generations going to continue to enjoy. When you do a bike trail like this between Worcester and Providence, that could be a weekend trip for a family to start in Worcester and bike your way down to Providence, stay overnight in Uxbridge at a bed and breakfast. The industry of just bicycle repairs, flat tires, and selling bikes certainly is out there, but just bringing tourists in. All those are spin-offs, and we've got a lot to show in our hometowns, and to get people down there, whether it's by canoe or bike or automobile, it's a great opportunity for us. So I can't say enough in terms of seeing this as something that we at the Highway Department want to have to come to reality for the valley.
Well, that's great, and we really appreciate your time, Commissioner. It's
Anytime.
Good seeing you again.
Anytime.
I like the beard, too.
Well, thank you.
We're taking a little detour here because you can't really discuss bikeways or bicycling in the Blackstone Valley without talking about Major Taylor. At the turn of the century, Major Taylor was a world-renowned bicycle racing champion, heralded throughout Europe, honored by kings and queens. He lived just down the street here in Worcester. We're going to meet Gloria Hall, a member of the board of directors for the Worcester Historical Museum, and learn a little bit about this truly remarkable African-American champion.
Major Taylor, as an individual, was a very accomplished man. He was very focused, and he knew what he wanted to do, and that's what he did, against all odds. Because during that time, there was no such thing as an African-American champion in just about any form. I think the first one of any significance was a middleweight boxer prior to him, but a bicyclist was unheard of. He was the American champion for two years, in 1900 and in 1898, so he was very, very accomplished. And he went to Europe. He did 2 or 3 tours of Europe, and you know, where he won there as well. So he was very, very, very accomplished cyclist. And it was exciting to see him race because he was just so fast. His position on the cycle was very different than everyone else. And he had so much to get over on the, to fight against on the field, because other cyclists would try to block him out. And so he developed strategies to overcome that. you know, and so he was very, very popular, and people always wanted to see him.
But Gloria, this is a little bit of a different place to stop and do an interview about bicycles, but it's the house we're really interested in, isn't it?
Yes, this is the home of Major Taylor. This is the house that he bought in 1900, and he lived here until 1925. He married here. He had one child, and so this is where he lived all of his professional life was in this house. And we did some renovations on it a couple of years ago, and we restored the porch to the way that it was when he bought it, you know. So hopefully we're going to make it into an historical house.
That's great. It's a nice, it's really kind of a great architecture, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It says that if you're good, you can overcome issues of race, because when it all boiled down to it, the reason that he was allowed to race was because the public wanted to see this man who was just really good at what he was doing. And he was better than anybody else. So everybody loves a champion. And when they see it, they can recognize it, even though there will be, you know, some, you know, latent, built-in racism, that kind of thing. But when you're good, you're good. And he was good.
I think we've talked about just about everyone I can think of who could help us understand the value of the Bikeway. But wait a minute. What about a bike shop owner?
What do your customers think about a Bikeway here in the Worcester area?
Everybody I've talked to drives for hours to find a bike path to ride on with their families. They'll go to Providence, they'll go to Northampton, they'll go up into Boxford to find a bike path to ride on. They're a lot of fun.
So there's a lot of interest then?
Oh yeah. We sell tons of maps that show the bike paths and the roads to get to them. And it gets people out on their bicycles. And once they've discovered how much fun it is to ride a bicycle, they become converts, advocates, almost fanatical religious believers in the bicycle. But it takes a bike path to get people out there, to get that safe feeling and comfortable feeling. Most of them are planned that they're pretty flat, so they don't have huge hills to climb, and not a lot of physical challenge to ride a bike path. But it gets them started. Then you can go with a family and not worry about the kids getting out in traffic. And, you know, it's fun. You get hungry, you get thirsty, and you know, you need to stop a little bit and look around and relax, put your feet up, watch the river flow by. Kids pegging rocks across the water is always a great thing. I'd like to take the first ride.
Hey, that sounds like a good idea. Hey, take care. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Chuck.
Ranger Chuck Arning on the National Park Service here in the Blackstone River Valley National Heritage Corridor. And the one clear point that's emerged from our discovery tour of the Blackstone Valley Bikeway is that this bike corridor has such a great potential to connect the great history and architecture of all the communities in the Blackstone Valley. I mean, we're here at Union Station in Worcester, and they've done such a wonderful job in restoring this grand old railroad station. So I'll tell you what, we're going to get a bikeway down here a lot sooner than you think. Government at work is a benefit to all of us. So dust off that old bicycle and join me as we discover America's story.